Introduction. This podcast will give you the required information on your Ni-CD batteries to help you better understand the life cycle of Ni-CD. It will also show you how to re-energize and revive these batteries through the RVD, revitalization through vaporization of dendrites process. We will also discuss the effect of RVD process on the Ni-CD. We strongly suggest that you read the whole book before subjecting your Ni-CD batteries to the RVD process. At the end of their usual life cycle, Ni-CD batteries often die in such a way that they no longer take a charge and have zero voltage. This usually means they're shorted out by crystal dendrites growth. We will explain what these crystals and how they are formed. By eliminating the accumulated dendrites, the Ni-CD batteries can be given extended lease on life. We will show you how desirable results can be achieved through the RVD process. The RVD process works on a simple principle of using electric pulses to vaporize crystal dendrites from the cell plates, thus making the battery rechargeable again. One can use a car battery as a power source. Other choices might include a battery charger, a DC power supply, a welder, or almost anything with some DC voltage. Charged-up capacitors are also useful to provide the required surge for the RVD process, as quick electrical pulses can be sent through them while still limiting the maximum surge. We live in the wireless age. Cordless drills, cellular and portable phones, electric toothbrushes, cordless shavers, and many other home appliances rely on rechargeable batteries to keep them wireless. We all have faced the dilemma of what to do with a given appliance, big or small, when the batteries run out of juice. We want to be fiscally responsible and environment-friendly, but what good is a device without power? Should we throw it out and just buy ourselves a new gadget? Most of us do just that, as cost of replacing the battery, oftentimes, is so ridiculously high that getting a new device is a no-brainer. Well, not anymore. Now you can give a new life to your Ni-CD batteries that don't hold charge by re-energizing them using our RVD process. 99% of Ni-CAD batteries can be reincarnated and given a new lease on life, including Black & Decker, DeWalt, Ryobi, Panasonic, Makita, Porter Cable, Bosch, Craftsman, etc. When a Firestorm or VersaPack Ni-CAD battery would no longer hold a charge or is close to being useless, just apply the RVD process. Your wallet and the environment would thank you. We hope you will find the information useful and will take the safety precautions during all your RVD processes. Special precautions must be taken to avoid Ni-CD battery fire up or explosion that can cause serious injuries. Overview: nickel-cadmium Ni-CD is one of the most established amongst the various commercially available rechargeable battery systems. The energy density of Ni-CD batteries are lower than the newer battery systems, such as nickel metal hydride and lithium-ion. However, the robust Ni-CD batteries are very durable, reliable, easy to use, and economical. They remain a popular choice for many electrical and electronic applications that emphasize lower cost while maintaining good performance. Ni-CD principle: as with any other rechargeable battery systems, Ni-CD batteries operate on the principle that electrochemical reactions at each of the electrodes are reversible. This enables energy to be stored during charging and released during discharging. In the event of deep discharge, depreciation of battery performance may occur. To minimize the possibility of damage, the antipolar material, i.e., the active material used in the negative electrode, is added in the positive electrode to prevent the generation of hydrogen gas, which can increase the internal pressure and may destroy the seal or at least cause water loss with resealing valves. Ni-CD performance. There are 5 major characteristics of Ni-CD battery that we should look at, which are charging, discharging, storage, cycle life, and safety. Charging. A battery should always remain cool during charging because high temperatures shorten battery life. Some temperature rise with nickel-based batteries cannot be avoided. The time during which the battery temperature remains elevated should be as short as possible. The temperature rise occurs in the second half of the charge cycle. The battery should cool to room temperature when on trickle charge. If the temperature remains above room temperature after a few hours in ready mode, the charger is performing incorrectly. In such a case, remove the battery when ready. Most rechargeable cells are equipped with a safety vent to release excess pressure if overcharged. The safety vent on a nickel-based cell opens between 10-13 bar, 150-200 psi. The pressure of a car tire is about 2-3 bar or 35 psi. With a reseal-able vent, no damage occurs after venting. Some electrolyte is lost, and the seal may leak afterwards. A white powder accumulating at the vent opening indicates venting activities. Charging method. The main concern in charging a Ni-CD battery is the buildup of temperature and internal pressure due to high overcharge rates. The cell design applies the concept of oxygen recombination in lowering the battery's internal oxygen level during standard charging. However, if the cell is subjected to severe charging conditions, such as overcharging at a current rate over 1 C, the rate of oxygen evolution from the positive electrode increases rapidly, exceeding the recombination reaction rate. As the oxygen recombination reaction is exothermic, this results in excessive oxygen pressure and increased temperature. The excessive pressure will then be released through the safety vent, causing a reduction in the cell electrolyte. The excessive heat will eventually degrade the cell's internal contents. These 2 factors are considered to be the major limitations to the battery's service life. The overall charge efficiency of nickel-cadmium is about 90% if fast charged at 1 C. On a 0.1 C overnight charge, the efficiency drops to 70% and the charge time is 14 hours or longer. The C rate is a unit by which charge and discharge currents are scaled. A charge current of 1000 mAh, or 1 C, will charge a 1000 mAh battery in slightly more than 1 hour. A 1 C discharge lasts 1 hour. In the initial 70% of charge, the charge acceptance of a healthy nickel-cadmium battery is close to 100%. The battery remains cool because all energy is absorbed. Currents of several times the C rating can be applied without heat buildup. Ultra-fast chargers use this phenomenon to charge a battery to the 70% level within minutes. Past 70%, the battery gradually loses the ability to accept charge. The pressure and temperature increase. Figure below illustrates the relationship of cell voltage, pressure, and temperature while nickel-cadmium is being charged. Charging guidelines. Avoid getting the battery too hot during charge. The temperature should only rise for a short moment at full charge, then cool off. Nickel-based batteries prefer fast charge. Lingering slow charges cause crystalline formation, memory. If not used immediately, remove the battery from the charger and apply a topping charge before use. Do not leave nickel-based battery in the charger for more than a few days, even if on trickle charge. Discharging. The nominal discharge voltage of a Ni-CD battery is 1.2 V at 0.1 2C discharge, which is affected by current and ambient temperature. The discharge voltage is depressed at lower temperature. This is because Ni-CD batteries employ an aqueous electrolyte system, resulting in decreased ionic mobility at lower temperatures. At higher currents, the discharge voltage is also depressed since the electrodes are more polarized. As storage, the battery loses its energy during storage even without loading. The energy is lost through small, self-discharge currents inside the battery. The nickel hydroxide is relatively unstable in a charged state and tends to return to a discharged state with the slow release of oxygen. The released oxygen then reacts with the cadmium in the negative electrode, thus establishing an internal discharge path. The reaction rate increases with higher temperatures. Cycle life. Cycle life is the number of charges and discharges a battery can achieve before the discharge capacity. Cycle life is affected by ambient temperature, as well as depth of charge and discharge. A common phenomenon is faster self-discharge rate upon cycling due to formation of cadmium dendrite, especially at the end of cycle life. A safety. If pressure inside the battery rises as a result of improper use, such as overcharge, short circuit, or reverse charging, a resealable safety vent will function to release the pressure, thus protecting the battery from bursting. However, you must take all safety precautions when handling a battery. Ni-CD handling. Knowledge of battery maintenance is crucial to a working battery, helping to provide a longer period of operation. On the other hand, improper battery handling or maintenance may lead to unnecessary battery defects or problems, such as electrolyte leakage or cell bulging. In order to get the most out of using Ni-CD rechargeable batteries, special care should be considered. Ni-CD maintenance. Periodic visual inspection of the battery is recommended. It is also advisable to store the battery at room temperature with low humidity when the battery is not expected to be used for a long period of time, the aim of which is to prevent cell leakage and rust. Bear in mind that self-discharge has to be taken into consideration when storing a charged battery. The remaining battery capacity should be at least 50% after a month of storage at room temperature for a fully charged battery. High storage temperatures will accelerate the self-discharge and reduce the remaining capacity. In order to maintain battery performance when being stored for an extended period of time, cycling, charging, and discharging of the battery within a 6 to 9 month period is recommended. This procedure is recommended to maximize performance of the battery. Memory, myth or fact. The word memory was originally derived from cyclic memory, meaning that a nickel-cadmium battery could remember how much energy was drawn on preceding discharges. On a longer than scheduled discharge, the voltage would rapidly drop and the battery would lose power. Improvements in battery technology have virtually eliminated this phenomenon. The problem with nickel-cadmium is not so much the cyclic memory, but the effects of crystalline formation. The active cadmium material is present in finely divided crystals. In a good cell, these crystals remain small, obtaining maximum surface area. With memory, the crystals grow and conceal the active material from the electrolyte. In advanced stages, the sharp edges of the crystals penetrate the separator, causing high self-discharge or electrical short. When introduced in the early 1990s, nickel metal hydride was promoted as being memory-free. Today, we know that this chemistry is also affected, but to a lesser degree than nickel-cadmium. The nickel plate, a metal that is shared by both chemistries, is partly to blame, while nickel metal hydride has only the nickel plate to worry about. Nickel-cadmium also includes the memory-prone cadmium plate. This is a non-scientific explanation why nickel-cadmium is affected more than nickel metal hydride. The stages of crystalline formation of a nickel-cadmium cell are illustrated in figures below. The enlargements show the cadmium plate in a proper functioning crystal structure. Crystalline formation after use or abuse and restoration. New nickel-cadmium cell. The anode is in fresh condition. Hexagonal cadmium hydroxide crystals are about 1 micron in cross-section, exposing large surface area to the electrolyte for maximum performance. Cell with crystalline formation. Crystals have grown to 50 to 100 microns in cross-section, concealing large portions of the active material from the electrolyte. Jagged edges and sharp corners may pierce the separator, leading to increased self-discharge or electrical short. Crystalline formation is most pronounced if a nickel-based battery is left in the charger for days, or if repeatedly recharged without a periodic full discharge. Since most applications do not use all energy before recharge, a periodic discharge to 1 volt per cell, known as exercise, is essential to prevent memory. Nickel-cadmium in regular use and on standby mode, sitting in a charger for operational readiness, should be exercised once per month. Between these monthly exercise cycles, no further service is needed. Based on the reduced crystalline buildup, applying a full discharge once every 3 months appears right. Restore your battery through RVD process. According to experts, revitalization through vaporization of dendrites, RVD process, works reliably only with nickel-cadmium cells. There are no apparent side effects to RVD, however. The battery manufacturers remain non-committal. No scientific explanation is available, and only little is known. The RVD process may be repeated until the Ni-CD battery holds a dependable charge, but wait 20 minutes before starting over the RVD. It allows the Ni-CD battery to cool. If you repeat the procedure without waiting, the cells could explode inside the battery. Tools you need: gloves, a voltmeter, safety goggles, battery charger, dead nickhead battery, electric wire, lamp cord thickness or larger, alligator clamps or electric tap, optional, voltage source for RVD process, DC power source. It could be your car battery, other tool batteries, welder, or battery charger. RVD chart. Before start the procedure, please check the chart below to determine the RVD process time as per your tool battery and power source. How to initiate the RVD process. Step 1. Check voltage and polarity. First, charge your Ni-CD battery for 4 hours on regular charge or 1 hour on rapid charger to make sure it's charged. If you suspect your charger isn't working, you can trickle charge it from a different voltage source. Now you are sure your battery has had a fair chance to charge. Check the voltage with your multimeter. If the voltage is lower than the label says it should be, then it should be subjected to the RVD process. Check polarity. Make sure you have identified the positive and negative terminals of the tool battery. You can see A and plus on tool battery terminal. If you can't see them, use multimeter. Sometimes Ni-CD battery has more than 2 terminals. If this is the case, then you have to subject only 2 terminals that register voltage to the RVD process. Please note, RVD will not work if performed backward, and tool battery can be explode. Step 2. Arrange power source from 1 volts to 9 volts. Now arrange the power source according to your requirement. In this setup, power source is 12-volt battery, This setup can work for any tool battery from 1 to 9 volts. As you can see, we have run 2 wires from the power battery. Black wire is connect to negative terminal, also known as ground of the battery, while red wire is connect to positive plus terminal. Both wires should be strapped on the ends. Now connect the other end of the negative wire on the tool battery's negative terminal. You can use the electric tap to hold the wire on power battery. Hold the positive wire for RVD. Now you are ready for RVD process. Go to step 3. RVD setup for tool batteries from 1 to 18. 5 volts. In this second setup, power source is 24 volts. To achieve 24 volts, we have arranged 2 batteries. Each one is 12 volts in series. This setup can work for any tool battery from 1 to 18, 5 volts. To arrange the batteries in series, connect one end of a wire to positive terminal of battery A, the first battery, and second end to the negative terminal of battery B, the second battery. Then we have run 2 wires from these batteries for RVD. Black wire is connect to negative terminal, also known as ground of battery A, first battery, while red wire is connect to positive plus terminal of battery B, second battery. Both wires should be strapped on the ends. Now connect the other end of the negative wire on the tool battery's negative terminal. You can use the clamps to hold the wire on power battery. Hold the positive wire for RVD. Now you are ready for RVD. Go to step 3. Setup for tool batteries from 18, 5 to 24 volts. In this third setup, power source is 36 volts. To achieve 36 volts, we have arranged 3 batteries. Each one is 12 volts in series. This setup can work for any tool battery from 1 to 24 volts. To arrange the batteries in series, connect one end of a wire to negative terminal of battery A, the first battery, and second end to the positive terminal of battery B, the second battery. Now take second wire and connect one end to positive terminal of battery A, the first battery, and other end to negative terminal of battery C, the third battery. Then we have to run 2 wires from these batteries for RVD. Black wire is connected to negative terminal, also known as ground of battery B, second battery, while red wire is connected to positive plus terminal of battery C, the third battery. Both wires should be strapped on the ends. Now connect the other end of the negative wire on the tool battery's negative terminal. You can use the clamps to hold the wire. Hold the positive wire for RVD. Now you are ready for RVD. Go to step 3. Step 3. Start RVD. At this point, make sure you have taken all safety measures i.e. goggles, gloves on. Hold the negative end to the Ni-CD tool battery's minus terminal. Tap the positive end of your car battery to the plus terminal of your Ni-CD battery 2-3 times per second. For duration of time, please check the RVD time chart above. At this point, make sure you have taken all safety measures i.e. goggles, gloves on. Try out your battery. It ought to be much better almost immediately. Once again, check the voltage of your Ni-CD battery with voltage meter. The voltage is now equal to rated voltage or high. If it's not, then wait for 20 minutes and repeat the RVD process. Apply RVD to the tool battery without waiting may result in the cell explosion. So take special caution while repeating the RVD. The success ratio of RVD process is almost 99%. If after 15 RVD attempts, your battery is still not working, it means they cannot be revitalized fix again. Most tool batteries need 1 or 2 RVD cycles, but extremely damaged batteries may take up to 15 cycles. After this process, allow 20 minutes to cool down the Ni-CD battery, and then place it on charger for 3 to 4 hours. Check the volts with voltmeter, write it down, and let the battery sit on room temperature. After 2 hours, check the volts again to make sure that there is no drain. If you notice a low volt, it indicates a short in Ni-CD battery cell/S. It's very rare, but it could happen. In this case, you have to open the battery pack and follow the procedure below. However, in very rare case, after RVD the tool battery about 15 times, your battery is still not charging. Then you are either not performing the procedure correctly, or your battery has gone too far. The most common mistake is improper polarity. If you are applying the tool battery backwards, this process will not work. Rebuilding Ni-CD rechargeable battery packs. Special thanks to Dave Bonandrini for this section. Besides saving money, why would I want to rebuild a battery pack? Reason number 1 is that usually only 1 or 2 cells in the whole pack are bad. So when you throw them out, please recycle your batteries. You are throwing out 12 or more batteries that are still good. Reason number 2 is that you can put higher capacity batteries in the packs and create packs with up to 4 times the runtime of the originals. How do I know when my pack needs rebuilding? When you only get a few minutes of runtime out of your pack, you get that sinking feeling that you are out another $90. But you can do some checking long before it gets this bad with a voltmeter. When you first take a pack off the charger, it should read higher than the voltage printed on the pack. Ni-CD batteries lose about 25% of their charge in a month of sitting on a shelf. This is called self-discharge. So you really need to check your pack with a fresh charge. A good condition battery, that is 18V, might read 21V fresh from the charger. A 4V might give you 16V. As long as it is higher than the rating, you are in good shape. Your battery that only gives a few minutes of runtime might read only 10V when it is rated for 14. For V, this is a problem. How do I open the pack for service? There are some screws along the pack that allow it to be opened. Sometimes they are star or security head screw. If you can't find a way to get a grip on them, get a security bit set at Harbor Freight. Rub your fingers over the label to see if some of the screws are hidden underneath it. On some cheaper import packs, they are glued together and have to be carefully cut apart. Don't even think of trying this without a vise to securely hold the pack. Run a brand new razor blade along the seam until you can rock the pack apart. This will take some time, but it will give you time to think about buying American tools too. What is inside? Inside you will find a number of sub-C battery cells. Each cell reads about 2V, so an 18V pack will have 15 cells in it. The cells are taped or shrink-wrapped together to keep vibration from loosening the contacts. You will need to cut off this tape. You will rewrap it when you are done with the repair. How do I know what cells are bad? Again, we are going to use the voltmeter. Place 1 lead at the bottom and top of each cell. Cells that read 3V, remember this is with a fresh charge, are good. You do not have to separate any of the cells to test them. Cells that read 1V are going, and any cell under 1V is bad. Some cells may be totally dead and not read anything. With a Sharpie, mark good cells with AG and put an X on bad cells. You may think, why bother replacing cells that are almost good like the 1V ones? If you taking the time to do a quality repair, why would you want to repeat the same process in a few months when the cell finally goes? Do the job once and do it right. But for any other reason, you may RVD to them. RVD the bad cells. When you identify the bad cell/S with low voltage, you have to apply RVD to them. Make sure you have identified the negative and positive end of each cell, because cells are rotated, so the positive and negative must be identified correctly. Make sure you have taken all safety measures Put your safety goggles and gloves on. Now use a 12-volt car battery to subject bad cell/S to RVD. Hold the negative wire to the negative side of the cell, and then hold the positive wire to the positive side of the cell for 3 seconds. Not more than 3 seconds. Repeat the procedure for all bad cells. Do not subject cell to RVD for more than 3 seconds. How do I get the bad cells out? As you have probably noticed, the cells are spot welded together. I have never seen a pack where actual solder was used. Take a small, sharp wood chisel and push between the tab and the top of the battery. You may have to lift a little. Take your time on the first one. The rest will go like butter once you have the feel for it. Leave the tabs behind on the good batteries. Installing the new cells. Using electrical tape, wrap the cells tightly so they will stay in place while you solder. This will be the cell's final resting place. So get the formation right. They have to fit back in the plastic housing. Remember, these cells get warm in use, so use real listed tape, not masking tape or crap you got at the dollar store. Make sure you get the polarity right. All of the cells go together head to tail, positive to negative. Use solder with a low wattage iron. Heat the tab and the battery top so you get a good joint. When you are done, check the contacts at the top of the pack to make sure you get the correct voltage. If you get some odd reading, you have soldered one of the batteries in backwards. Fix this right away. If your spouse or kids put the pack in the charger, it could explode or cause a fire. The big wrap up. Now all you have to do is reassemble the pack. Make sure all the cells are wrapped together tight with electrical tape. They should not move or shift around. Screw everything back in place and test the contacts one more time for proper voltage. If you had a pack that had to be cut apart to open it, use PVC cement to glue it back together. Place the pack in the charger and charge it up. It may well be a good idea to keep an eye on it the first time. You can never be too safe. Where do I get replacement cells from for free? Remember earlier, when I told you that most dead packs only have a few bad cells. All of your friends have dead packs sitting around their houses. Just ask them to give their dead packs to you. It does not matter if they have 9, 6V, 18V, or 24V, you are just going to take them apart for the 1, 2V cells. Most people will never get around to taking those packs to the recycler, so you are doing them and the earth a favor. These packs have often been sitting for quite a while, so have your friend charge them up before you open them. Your own charger may or may not fit your friend's pack. This way you can see which cells hold a charge. Where do I buy cells from? If you have burned every bridge between you and your so-called friends, you may need to actually buy some cells. Or maybe you want to build a super pack with higher capacity cells that will outlast the manufacturer's original pack. The problem is that you can't just call DeWalt and order cells. They want you to buy a $1.90 battery pack. On the net, I found lots of places that sell sub-C NiCd cells. Many of these cells cost $2.50 each. Even if you had to buy 15 new ones, you would have spent less than $38 total. I have never seen a pack with more than 3 bad cells in it, so the average repair might be under $10, a handsome savings over the price of a new pack. The higher the milliamp hour of the battery, the longer runtime it will provide. A 4,500 mAh battery will run 3 times longer than a 1,300 mAh battery. Many OEM packs are filled with 1,200 mAh batteries from the factory. Ones marked extra runtime often have 2,400 mAh batteries in them, like the DeWalt XRP packs. They usually don't state the mAh anywhere on the packaging. You have to call customer service and get transferred around a few times. How to get the most out of your packs? Keep batteries out of extreme heat or cold. High temperatures age the chemicals inside batteries prematurely. Never run a battery all the way down. The moment you notice a change or slowdown, it is time to swap packs. Top off batteries before storage. When done with the day's work, recharge your packs before putting them away. Many modern chargers have a deep charge mode that conditions batteries when left in the charger overnight. Consult your manual to see if your charger has this feature. Charge upside down. Your charger creates a lot of heat when it is charging, especially if the pack is really low. Flip the charger so the battery is on the bottom and the charger is on top. This lets the heat from the charger rise and dissipates without further heating the battery. Save some coin and save the earth at the same time. RVD of VersaPack batteries. Sealed batteries like the VersaPack do not require any disassembly and can be RV-to-D in seconds. VersaPack batteries have 2-volt cells inside of them, so they should register 6 volts. The VersaPack batteries are very simple to RVD. Simply hold the negative wire from the battery to the outside housing of the battery, which is its negative or ground. Then rapidly RVD the positive wire to the inside of the battery for 3 seconds, but no more than that. Now it should register 6 volts or higher. You can repeat the process one more time if necessary, but wait 20 minutes before start the procedure again. You can also use a jumper cable to do the RVD. First, put on safety goggles and gloves. The positive end of the VersaPack battery is inside a hole on one end of the battery, and the outside of the battery is negative. Take a bolt that would fit in the positive hole and held the bolt in the jaws of the jumper cables. Then put the negative jumper clamp around the battery itself. Stuck the bolt in the hole, you will see some small sparks. Your VersaPack is live gain.